Good evening, it's meteorologist Michael Fecca. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-stream show that we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms as well as to Facebook Live. So if you are joining us from Facebook and you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them down below. I'll hopefully be able to address them as I go through the forecast, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can answer anything individually for you. But let's get started here. We'll start off with our current radar setup as we head into the overnight hours. We woke up this morning with some cloud cover, maybe even a stray sprinkle, but we actually ended up drying out and seeing that sunshine return through the afternoon and much of our evening. I do still think we're going to stay quiet here for another hour or two, and then we have this cold front that's going to be sliding in from the west. Now, as this front slides in from the west, it's going to conjure up some more scattered showers and thunderstorms overnight and into Monday, and there is that isolated risk for a isolated damaging wind gust or an isolated small hail, but we're really not expecting anything widespread in terms of severe weather or anything intense. So just keep in mind that you may get a warning overnight tonight, but I'm not expecting anything that you need to stay awake for or anything like that. These showers are going to be weakening and dying off as they cross through the tri-state. So a very low-end severe weather risk, but it is still going to bring us some rain, some showers. You may hear some thunder or some gusty winds overnight tonight. So I just wanted to give you guys that heads up so you're not caught off guard. But there is that risk level, so it hasn't really changed all that much from earlier today with its recent update. Before it was just kind of cut just to the west of Evansville. Since its recent update, they just went ahead and pushed it through the Evansville area. So not a huge change there, still a level 1 risk, so isolated, strong or severe storm can't be ruled out. And then as that front continues to traverse eastward through the day on Monday, it looks like there is maybe a chance for another isolated, severe thunderstorm warning for our very far southeastern counties there. So very, very fringe, low-end severe weather threats. Again, maybe causing a disruption for a moment, but not anything that I think you need to change plans for, stay awake for, or anything like that. But here's a look at our hour-by-hour radar. So timing out the showers as we go through the rest of the night tonight. We'll start to see maybe a few pop up through southern Illinois by around 10, but most of this doesn't really move in until after 11 o'clock, and it really doesn't even push into the center part of the tri-state until early tomorrow morning, so in the pre-dawn hours. So it is a pretty slow moving line of showers and thunderstorms, and you can see it just lingers across the tri-state through Monday morning and then even a little bit into the afternoon. But by the late afternoon, early evening hours, it looks like we will be clearing from west to east and drying as well. So it looks like the second half of the day on Monday may be salvageable for you guys out there. But then we should stay quiet overnight Monday and into Tuesday. But just again, reiterating the potential isolated threat for a damaging wind gust or even some hail tonight as those storms roll in along the leading edge of the cold front. But temperatures tonight drop down into the mid to upper 60s once again, and then tomorrow we'll warm back up into the upper 70s, seeing clearing and more sunshine through the second half of the day. And looking at our rainstorm chances through the rest of next week, we have a nice little break from all this action. We'll have high pressure build in through Tuesday, Wednesday, and even into Thursday, and that's going to keep us pretty quiet and dry through the middle of the work week before more chances for showers and storms move up from the south for the end of the work week and into next weekend. It looks like we may have daily chances for showers and thunderstorms, possibly extending into the beginning of next week. So maybe seeing a little bit more of an unsettled weather pattern by the end of next week and into the following. But looking at our precipitation outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, kind of agreeing with this idea here that we might end up slightly above average through the middle of the month in terms of our precipitation. And let's take a look at what that looks like on our European model. Our longer range model here brings high pressure in, builds it in through Tuesday, and keeps it centered right over the tri-state Tuesday and into Wednesday. So very, very nice, dry, sunny days through the middle of the work week, and then maybe seeing some clouds return on Thursday with a slight chance of a shower over western Kentucky, but I think most will probably stay dry on Thursday as well. It's not until we get into Friday that we see some slightly better chances for some of those scattered showers and even a few thunderstorms that continue into next weekend. Now, looking at all of the data at this point in time, while this is pretty far out, doesn't look like anything majorly severe is headed our way. Again, you can't rule out maybe a marginal risk. We typically do see marginal risks anytime we have thunderstorms anyway, so it's just a little bit too far out to kind of fine-tune any of those details, but we'll be keeping an eye on it for you, and if anything big changes or anything turns into something major, we'll obviously let you know. But just at this point in time, it looks like just some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Now, looking at what we had yesterday, kind of a unexpected eventful day. I mean, we had that first alert in there for some severe thunderstorms, but we actually ended up getting two very, very weak tornadoes touch down, and they weren't even from thunderstorms. They were actually from some heavy downpours that developed across the tri-state yesterday afternoon. And one of those was, well, actually both were an EF0, but one of them had peak winds of 85 miles per hour, and that was the one that impacted that shopping center there in Owensboro. We got a lot of pictures and videos from that from viewers, and then we got a lot of pictures of funnels of people on the highway there kind of looking at it from Owensboro. And then just to the north, we had another EF0 tornado touchdown very, very briefly. It was only on the ground for a little over half a mile just north of Hatfield. It kind of sat and spun over a field, so it didn't really cause much damage other than some tree damage. And it looked like max wind speeds were at around 65 miles per hour, and width was around 25 yards. So two very weak EF0 tornadoes yesterday, but you know, even though they weren't thunderstorms, they're still able to reach the ground. Now, a lot of the times when you see these very weak funnels developing on the very bottom of a thunderstorm that doesn't even have thunder for it, typically they're not going to be strong. So they very rarely ever reach the ground, but in this case, two of them did. And then we saw some minor damage from that. All right, I'm actually going to go ahead and take a break. Let's see what everybody is talking about in the comments here. I see a couple of questions. Jeanette, good evening. Evening to you, Emma, and hope all had a nice weekend, said Craig. Good evening, Jeanette and Chris. Karen asks if the storms can go somewhere else. They can, but, you know, they won't because we live here and they like us more, apparently. Paula Schaefer says good evening. Lenny Howard's in the chat. He's got a thumbs up. Justin says good evening. And then Jeanette also mentioned she was able to get her yard mowed today, which is a very, very good point. Hopefully you guys were able to get outside, take advantage of that, get any yard work done, or just simply enjoy any sort of outdoor activity. I know it's terrible when we have rain chances almost every weekend here, but at least, you know, it's not a complete washout of a weekend. But that is all the questions I am seeing here, so I'm going to continue here with our stream show. So looking at our June temperatures so far for the month, our very first week, we topped out around average or slightly below. You can see we had a couple of 70-degree days. Right now, our average highs should be in the low to mid 80s. We had a couple of days where we dropped down into the 70s and lower 80s. But looking at our longer range Climate Prediction Center outlook for temperature, it looks like we'll actually stay right around average or even slightly above through the middle of the month. So there's a look at your 7-day forecast. Let me go ahead and take that full screen so you guys can get a better look at it. Again, another cold front will be swinging in overnight tonight. It is going to bring us that isolated risk for maybe a severe thunderstorm, but we're really only concerned with some damaging winds. If anything, maybe even some small hail would be possible, but most of the action overnight tonight will be non-severe. So I don't think you guys need to stay awake for it, but I would always still recommend, you know, making sure you have a way to get a warning in case you are placed under one, but they will be weakening as they cross through the tri-state, and they'll linger into Monday morning as well before clearing out of here through Monday afternoon. And then we'll have high pressure build in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, keeping things nice and dry with temperatures climbing back up into the mid 80s. And then we'll hang out in the mid 80s through the end of next week, but shower and thunderstorm chances return on the daily beginning Friday and lingering through the weekend. So that is all I have here for the 9 o'clock stream show. I'm going to log off Facebook Live, and I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody have a great night and stay safe.